It's also our second week officially without a letter. No envelopes, nothing from Ryan and Brian. Wow. However, the staff said they had a little bit of a surprise for me. So perhaps we did go back to the YouTube comments.
Wow.
And I said, whatever you do, make it the smallest font possible, okay? They said, Wilds, we got you. Why is Wild starting off 2025 basically telling the audience, he hates us by eliminating the letter, eliminating the letter reading and Cowboy Brou. See, this is not the syntax I would write in. Please stop trying to ruin the bud list, Wilds. Please.
Is that real?
There was a lot of people saying they wanted the letters back and they wanted Cowboy Brou back, to the point that I got a little bit of suspicious that maybe there's some foul play.
Cowboy Brou, better than ever.
Okay.
Look at better than ever. My only problem with Cowboy Brou is it wasn't realistic. Now it's realistic.
Okay, your head is not set that low on your
The head, mate, but the arms, the guns.
You also don't have the beard anymore.
That's me. The used to have the beard.
A lot of weird stuff going on. Go ahead, Brou.
Number 3, Justin Herbert. Justin, it's not fair, my man. But this is what comes with the fame, the money, and the talent. All right? If you lose to coaches Houston Texans, even though you're on the road, you will be blamed. It won't be Jim Harbaugh, who's kind of resurrected the franchise with his coaching. It probably won't be the defensive stars, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Joey Bosa. It's going to be you. There are people out there that blame every playoff loss on the quarterback.
No, that's not me. That is not me.
And they're waiting to pounce. And the narrative will be, Justin, if you lose, sure, he's thrown for more completions and passing yards than any quarterback in history in his first 5 years. It will be, but he's 0-2 in the playoffs. And this part, 0-2 against 2 underdogs when you've been favored twice. So, Justin, that's on you, but you got the goods, man. You're tough. You got the arm. Now you got a great coach. Go out there and do you. I believe in you. All right, at number 2, Lamar Jackson. All right. You know what? One thing I loved a lot of everything about you this year, but one thing I love is you have kept the main thing, Super Bowl. You've taken it week at a time, but you have always been focused on the Super Bowl. You probably won't win the MVP. And honestly, I'm just guessing, but I feel like this is probably how you feel. You probably don't even care about that. You got 2. I'm sure you want to win more in the past, but right now, you are focused on that Lombardi trophy. But it all begins with the Steelers. You got to beat them, obviously, to get the main goal. So just go out there, play your game. Don't get antsy, all right, as you said. Don't worry about what people are saying. Oh, he's got to be a pocket passer. Can he win it with his arm? Just win it. Do you by running the football, handing it off to Derrick Henry, and being that elite passer you've been in the regular season come playoff time. Lamar Jackson, I believe in you. All right, at number 1, Sam Darnold. This was tough. Sam's obviously had a tremendous season. Happy for you. But this game is easily the biggest of your life. And not just because it's your first playoff start. Not just because your 14-win Vikings are on the road, even though you won 14 games. Not just because you are facing a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Nick's beloved Matthew Stafford. All right? It is because your money is on the line.
It's true.
If you go out there and play well and win, I assume the Vikings will want you back, make you the franchise quarterback for at least the next couple of years, and you'll get a lucrative payment. If you go out there, play poorly, and lose, you might not be back with the Vikings. And on the market, your market might not be that strong. So this is a huge game for you, Sam. So what I say to you is just look, you are a big part of why the Vikings won 14 games this season. You are in the MVP conversation. All right, you were the 3rd pick in the draft in 2018, which means you've got major talent. You just unleashed it this year. So I'm trying to give you that positive mindset to go into LA and dispatch with Knicks Rams. All right, Sam, I actually think y'all gonna win. So I believe in you to some degree.
I buy that too.
It was a really good list, right? You know, I almost put the Vikings defense on there because last time they played, it really wasn't Sam Darnold who was the issue. It was the Vikings defense that got chewed up. But I didn't. I went to Josh Allen, and I know that Nick just assumes that they're going to walk all over him, and probably most of the world assumes that, you know, he's going to be Superman and they're going to walk all over the Broncos. But when you look at the way this is set up, he's going to have to be Superman. Okay, we understand that. They haven't. Denver's been exceedingly good at stopping the run. Okay, so that's been something that they've done really well. So now it becomes a one-dimensional game. So let's take a look at where they are defensively, because I think this is really important. So they're 3rd against the run, which means now we're into a one-dimensional passing game. They lead the NFL in sacks, but more importantly to me, it's the pressure percentage, okay, and the blitz percentage. So they blitz Broncos blitz about the 4th most of anybody in the NFL. And then the pressure percentage is how many times they affect the quarterback. That's a combination of sacks, hurries, the times they hit him. They're 3rd in that category there. Okay, so all that being said, let's take a look at how Josh has played this season with pressure and without pressure. And it's important here because with pressure, you can see his numbers. Passer rating 108. With pressure, it's down 28%. Completion percentage 71%. Without or with pressure, now it's the 2nd lowest in the NFL at 43%. Okay, his yards per pass come down a little bit too. So if this does become a one-dimensional game, over the course of the season, he hasn't been anywhere near as effective against pressure than he has when he hasn't faced pressure. And they're going to bring a lot of it because Denver has nothing to lose. Yeah. They have nothing to lose. Now, it's just a question of how well you handle that, or whether or not it becomes your kryptonite.
Great points. I'm going to let Wilds respond because you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I mean, I didn't have all those nice graphics, nor do I have decades of experience as a defensive coordinator and a head coach. But I kind of said the same thing earlier. And you guys ripped me. I got crushed in the block, coach.
I was like, look, they don't appreciate your insight.
Thank you, coach.
Not right.
So don't say like, oh,
you
great,
didn't have the numbers.
Crushed. Like, oh, wow,
you actually
be the
Wilds,
clown.
and we're gonna do that.
And Brou reached over
I got a question.
He put a red nose on. He said, honk, 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 honk on my nose.
I have a big question for Coach. We're going to talk about this game because I got a big question for you regarding that. But
you're going to ask me. We'll talk about it in a minute. First, can I give the Bud List a compliment? A sincere one?
Sure. Rare.
I really appreciate you adding some balance to the network by putting Justin Herbert on there. Because I had to watch Danny Parkins this morning put up a side-by-side of Justin Herbert's first 5 years and Peyton Manning's. And explain how, well, Peyton didn't win in the playoffs either, and their numbers are the same because we all know it's just as easy to pass right now as it was in 1999. And so why can't Justin Herbert one day be Peyton Manning? It was an outrageous segment.
You have done that, a similar graphic. We used the same template when you had Peyton Manning's rookie year with Caleb. Remember you did that one?
What? I was just doing rookie quarterbacks. Yes, and you didn't like it, but that was for the record. That was also, I then did Joe Burrow. I did it in chronological order, template, sir. And I was not saying that Justin Herbert was going to end up being one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Apologies, Danny, but I have to rip him because I have to go on that show tomorrow morning.
Did that count as the media ombudsman?
I was going to say, is that the media ombudsman?
No. Okay. But it is time.
What?
The sports media ombudsman.
Okay, good.
It is Tuesday at 4:10.
Thursday.
And Thursday at 2. Sorry, I'm.
Is it me again? I mean, I'm always on the Bud List.
Not only is it not you, it is something that you will appreciate more than anyone, and I really wish more people would take Brou's lead. I could learn from you on this. Because I'm about sick of all the cursing on sports TV.
Oh! I love this.
Oh,
so, Inside the NBA had an interesting moment a few nights ago, and you were like, oh, I know what it was. They were saying it was so much better back when they were playing. No, that wasn't it. It's like, oh, I know what it was. Barkley was saying why the Lakers suck. No, that wasn't it actually either. They were having a really interesting conversation, really well done, about Jimmy Butler. And Ernie Johnson, I thought, had a great moment in it, and you saw how much the group respects him. I love that Ernie can say it and Charles will be like, I'm sorry, I apologize, keep going. And I love Chuck, but Ernie's right. It's not the podcast. And maybe in the first couple times you spontaneously dropped an F-bomb at noon on cable TV, it was shocking. But now it just feels lowbrow. The first time I heard Nick Saban punctuate a funny story by saying, and that was full of S, I was like, oh, he cursed. And now I'm like, oh, I think they're reminding him to do it. And ultimately, I understand all these shows are consumed in multiple platforms. But those of us lucky enough to be on TV, it's in our interest that people still think there's a difference between being on TV and doing your favorite podcast, your favorite YouTube show. Again, I do a podcast, I do a YouTube show, curse like a sailor on it, walk around the office curse. Once I put this tie on and suit, I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to be Cronkite necessarily, but I'd like to add some professionalism to it. And I don't know when the dam broke to where it's just like, we're not technically regulated by the FCC, so we can do whatever we want, but I don't like it. And I know I'm 40 now and it's old man takes, but it's in all of our best interests that the audience knows there's a difference between regular television shows and things that can be produced anywhere. And the fact that we don't drop F-bombs is part of it. Wow. So everybody, clean it up. You don't have to do Brou's thing and never say a dirty word in your life, but
I was going to say that. This is very Christian of you, Nick. I love it.
I knew you would.
Can I add some gravity to this, too?
Yeah.
It's not super fun, but I'm going to add something to it. There's a point, and because LeBron did this, too. It went on my radar when I saw LeBron do this. And LeBron's like, oh, we sure are shooting a lot of blank threes. And I had the same reaction of you of like, man, everyone's swearing now. And it bothered me, and I couldn't figure out why. It's like, it's just because I'm old or I'm like a prude. It's because the words are losing power. And you have to save your curse words for when they matter. Again, this is like a little too serious for the Bud list when we just read a fake comment. That comment was real. So after the Boston Marathon bombing, the first Red Sox game back, David Ortiz came back, and he got the microphone. He's on the pitcher's mound, and he announces, "This is our blanket city," and the place erupted because the moment demanded the most extreme, powerful bomb, so to speak, that you could drop, and it worked. But to just do it, everyone, like, yeah, man, we beat the Hornets, what a blank game. That doesn't mean that you've lost it. And if you start using it all the time, then when it's reserved for a moment that really matters, when you want to unify a city, a fan base, the country, whatever it may be, you lose it.
The boy who cried cursing wolf.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That drives me nuts.
Both of you make great points. And if it continues, Nick, then it's going to start becoming commonplace.
Of course.
That's what's going to happen, and it will.
And again, I feel silly. I know that's not a cool take.
No, it's a good
take. But
take.
it is truly how I feel, and so.
It's a good take. Next up on the Bud list, I'm adding Tyreek Hill.
Okay, this will be great.
Tyreek Hill, last time you saw him, he was quitting on the Dolphins in the third quarter. Now, there's a new viral video going around where Jalen Waddle was like, hey, cheater, are you done? Like, man, that's signing off. Done in the middle of the game.
I think a guy got kicked off the Niners for that.
Yes. Anthony Richardson got torn to shreds because he wanted to sit out one play. Tyreek Hill's out for a quarter and a half. And he's a rookie. He's like, sorry, I just needed to catch my breath. Any event. And then adding to it, it was supposed to be just like a heat of the moment thing. He just lost. But he's like, by the way, why don't I get a Photoshop of myself on Antonio Brown's body when he bailed on the Bucs? Well, Mike McDaniel runs a tight ship over the Dolphins. Cameron Wolf summed up what Mike McDaniel is saying. Quote, Mike McDaniel told reporters he had a 1-hour meeting with Tyreek and told him, quote, it's unacceptable to leave a game and it won't be tolerated in the future. Well, my goodness gracious. They had an hour-long meeting and Tyreek embraced accountability.
I'm sure he
needed to clear the air. So now Drew Rosenhaus, who is Tyreek's agent, was on McAfee. And he did a great job representing Tyreek's and kind of did a lot of damage control until someone on McAfee's panel said, Drew, just to
Guy in the cowboy hat?
no, just to be sure.
Tank top?
I'm not 100% sure of the outfit.
Okay.
So just to make sure, he wants to be a Dolphin, right? And the quote from Drew Rosenhaus is, I'm not going to say he does or he doesn't. So can we just stop? The guy doesn't want to be on the Dolphins. Every other week we're doing a Chiefs back to Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs report. Can we just end the facade? Tyreek Hill wants to leave. Jimmy Butler wants to leave. Let's just stop. Guys want to leave Miami, okay? It's just is what it is. I'm ready for Tyreek Hill to go. I don't want to have another story about how much he loves the Dolphins, and he promises he won't quit on the team, and he knows it won't be gone.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel's there's got to be a fine there. At least.
Yeah,
we know how much they make. It wouldn't be that significant, but still. That's crazy.
Give back the money. Give back the signing bonus.
The signing bonus? The whole thing?
Whatever proration there is left in the contract, you give back the signing bonus, you give up the guarantees, and you let the team trade you. You don't get to decide how you go out. You want to split at halftime? That's cool. But don't expect us to then give you the where would you like to go? Right. And you can keep all the money we invest in you. Yeah, give back the money, give up the guarantees, and understand we're going to trade you wherever's in our best interest to trade you. And then the door's open. You're out.
I
Coach ran a tighter ship than McDaniel. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.